Hello everybody, my name is Pancake-sama and seasonal anime can be quite overwhelming. With so much anime coming out all at once, it is quite hard to choose what you want to watch, especially if you don't know much about the anime. Also, if you follow the Fable 3 episode rule, it can be quite the time commitment. Well, do not fear, Pancake-sama is here. Recently, me and my friend got together and watched not 3, not 4, but 1 new episode of all the new releases this season. Please don't click off, I swear I know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be giving you my list from least to most favorite from the spring 2024 season. Now this list won't include any sequels because if you can't decide if you want to watch the sequel after you watch the first few seasons, then that's your problem. And it's definitely not because I haven't watched the first seasons of any of those shows. Also, this list includes remakes because I haven't watched the originals, so they count as new anime for me. Anyways, starting out with number 15, we have... oh god. My least favorite genre of anime is isekai. As a genre, I feel like it's really easy to mess up and also usually doesn't have a high peak. But even despite that, this is the most garbage show I've ever laid my eyes on. The Banished former hero lives as he pleases is rightfully the current second lowest rated anime this season. There was really nothing good to say about this anime. It had some terrible animation, the storyline just didn't draw me in at all, I didn't care about the characters one bit. The only thing I'll say is they hired a monster voice acting cast, with the king having voiced Dio, Toji and Zeke, and Girl A having voiced Akame, Aqua and various others. The dialogue of this show turned out fine, but everything else really just flopped, making it deservedly the lowest ranked on this list. Quickly getting that off the screen and moving on to number 14, we have God's Game We Play. Now I've heard people compare this to No Game No Life, but I think it's more fair to compare this to Liar Liar, which I had a few seasons back. I personally didn't like this episode one bit. They kinda just piled on a lot of information without explaining it. And not in a good mysterious way, but more in the what the hell is going on sort of sense. The other major issue I found with this show was the dialogue. The characters didn't feel like they were having a conversation, it was more like the lines were just badly put together. And when you can notice that, it really ruins the charm of an anime. But here's where I introduce another aspect of this video. While I did rank the list mostly based on my enjoyment, I did think of another thing, that being the potential of the anime to either get good or for someone else to enjoy it. And I think if you like the concept of a guy competing in games against gods, then I'd say you should give this anime 2 or 3 episodes. Now on to number 13 and... I'm sorry, I almost fell asleep. Yeah, the Fable was just incredibly boring. The dialogue also did feel pretty bad, but that could be due to how the main character talks. I just don't think I'm the target audience for this anime because I don't really see much potential either, so it ranks fairly low. Long names are annoying to say and isekais have plenty of them, which is why I'm getting them out early in this video. Coming in at number 12, we have Chillin in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers. This anime could have been ranked higher but chose the dumbest way to give him the powers. Now I had this ranked at number 14 initially, but one of my isekai loving friends brought to my attention that this anime centers around romance rather than fighting. So I bumped it up a couple spots because I could see some potential in this anime being fairly good. And out of the shows in the bottom half of this list, I can see it being the best if it's done right. Now I'm a pretty big romance fiend, but that doesn't mean I have to like every romance that I see. And while Studio Apartment Good Lighting Angel included may get number 1 in terms of having a weird name, it is only number 11 on this list. It reminded me a lot of the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, which I found quite boring honestly. But maybe this one gets plus points for having a real angel. But yeah, this one has a tiny bit of potential. They did only introduce 1 out of the 5 girls on the cover art, so maybe it will turn out enjoyable, so we'll see how this one stacks up. Diving headfirst into probably the weirdest anime of the season at number 10, we have The Train to the End of the World. And this one has so much potential, but I can't really tell if it's gonna be a serious anime or just a comedy. There were parts of the first episode that were intriguing, but they immediately went into comedy in between those moments. But if they really spend the time world and character building, I think this one could turn out alright or be the biggest flop of the season. And currently, it's leaning more towards the latter. Moving to the penultimate isekai on this list, we have... I was reincarnated as a 7th prince so I could take my time perfecting my magical ability at number 9. Whew. This one was actually enjoyable and had some really cool moments, but honestly I think the characters are a bit too extra for me and I didn't really see the story going anywhere. So personally I wouldn't watch it, but if you're an isekai fan and you're into a lot of fan service, I recommend you give this one a shot.
Poor boy's trembling from fright. So cute!
Entering the midway point of this list, we have Mysterious Disappearances at number 8. This one could be very hit or miss. On one hand, I feel like they sprung on a plot point of the viewers that was too soon. I mean, we just met the characters, so it felt a bit like they were forcing me to like them. On the other hand, there seems to be an actual good mystery element to this anime. So I recommend you watch this one at least until the 3rd episode because there is a lot to discover. Now onto the first remake of the list, we have Spice and Wolf at number 7. I'm gonna be real, it's definitely gonna be one of the better animes of the season. I mean, it is a tried and tested classic, and unless they royally screw up, it can't be that bad. But this list is solely based off first episodes, and it didn't really leave that much of an impact on me. It was just fairly whelming. I know it's gonna be good, and I recommend everyone to watch it, but for now it is just slightly above average. Separating the two remakes, we have the isekai I like the most at number 6.
Oh god, not again.
As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. There's really not much to say here. The animation was clean, I liked the characters, the dialogue was good, and the skill the main character has is unique enough to intrigue me. The only bad thing was the opening, which was utter garbage, but not enough to make me hate the show. Stopping at number 5, we have our resident comfort anime of the season, Bartender Glass of God, which is also the other remake of the season. You should 100% watch this anime, it is one of those you can put on at any time when you're in any mood, and probably enjoy. I am a big fan of there being a story in the anime I watched though, and I'm not sure if Bartender will serve that for us. Are you a fan of Tokyo Revengers? Well, look no further than number 4 as Windbreaker is the anime for you.
As long as I can fight, as long as I'm the strongest, I belong on top!
Except the main character can actually fight. I'm gonna be honest, the fight scenes aren't the most realistic, but it is just sheer hype, and the characters are kind of interesting. So I think you should pick this one up. Now, it wouldn't be right if a romance isn't near the top of this list, and A Condition Called Love is at number 3. Now, this is a weird pick as the concept is mediocre, the animation is alright, and personally I don't like the male character very much. But the female character in this anime feels very real and I like her character a lot. So much in fact that this places really high on the list. If you are a romance fan, I highly suggest you watch this as it will be the best romance of the season. Alright, let's move on to the two shows that are kind of in their own league. In at number 2, we have Go Go Loser Ranger. Now usually before I go into an anime, I already have an opinion on it. And for some reason, I really wanted to hate Go Go Loser Ranger, but it surpassed all expectations and turned out amazing. The storyline is unique and it provides a whole new perspective from the villain's point of view. And even though they aren't fully distinguishable from each other and their names are quite forgettable, they managed to give each character personality. I even recall a few of them just after one episode. I also think this has the highest potential out of any anime this season, so I'm really excited to see where this one goes. The best first episodes usually come from unexpected sources. So much so that I nearly skipped the number 1 anime on this list entirely, and only when someone told me about Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, I watched it. And I'm really glad they did. Seeing an anime that deals with relevant topics is really refreshing to see. The animation was really good as well. I personally loved how they transitioned from one scene to another. Also, the characters are very likable and it was by far the best first episode of the season. Fun fact, this anime is made by the same guy who wrote Tomozaki-kun, which I made a video on not too long ago. And this does worry me a bit. Tomozaki kind of had an issue for me at least where it started off really strong and kind of got boring towards the end. Now I'm not sure the direction Jellyfish is gonna swim, but I hope it works out. Alright, so we've gone through a lot of anime in this video, so much so that I have lost my sanity. So consider liking and subscribing so I gain some of it back. But there are a few animes I couldn't watch as either they haven't released yet or because I didn't want to. And for the sake of all of you, I will go through them rapidly. Kaiju number 8 is the most popular new release this season, and if you like action you should give it a watch. Judging by the member count, it's gonna be great and I've heard good things about the manga. Moving on to the 4 sports anime, none of which are any good. They are really low rated and even if you love sports anime, I highly advise you avoid them. But if you still insist, you can take your pick. We have anime girls riding bikes, some golf things, big men playing baseball, and the lowest rated anime of the season. I refuse to talk about these two. Now I actually watched Girls Band Cry, but I didn't know where to put it on the list. And 15 sounds better than 16. It's CGI but actually fairly well done. It's most likely gonna have some banger music, but I don't like how the characters' expressions look. 4 out of 10. Unnamed Memory and Remonster are probably alright, but I don't want to watch more isekai. Whisper Me a Love Song is a girls' love romance that looks to have really good animation, so if you're a fan of that you should watch this one. Now I forgot about Viral Hit when making this video, but luckily I have a friend who read the entire manhwa. Take it away, Siphon.
Alrighty. Well, I think Viral Hit is a multicultural masterpiece. Its action and range of martial arts shown is pure eye candy, and Hobin is just a personification.
Thanks Siphon, that was very insightful. And finally, to wrap this video up, I've heard good things about An Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride, which is about a socially inept sorcerer who buys an elf from an auction. And finally, Mission Yozakura Family, which is about a socially inept high schooler whose childhood friend is the head of a family of spies. Does anybody else think that a family looks like side characters that we isekai from other animes? Or is that just me? That was a lot of anime, and if you guys want me to cover next season as well, let me know in the comments. And tell me, what are you looking forward to most this season? Anyways, have a great day, and thanks for watching.